The views and opinions expressed on this program do not reflect the company, owners, management, staff, clients, or partners.
It's Wednesday, the 18th day of June, 2025. Welcome to Bermuda's Daily Talk Show. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House, Lindo's People's Pharmacy, and our good friends over at Intel Communications, Hot 107.5. I'm Jamal Hartman, and Sherry has decided to show up to work today, folks. Simone will be giving us a news break a bit later. Sister Sherry, I haven't seen you since you were in your 40s. How's things?
And I haven't seen you since you've grown. Oh, right. I forgot you haven't grown at all. But, so here we are, the same. Well,
Wow.
you came out of the gate, Jamal. You came out of the gate. And but I thought I'll just keep you there and look over and see how you're doing.
I mean, I'm doing okay, Sister Sherry. I mean, you didn't have to be so rude.
You started at the edge, and I had to okay, this is where we're going.
Yeah.
I see we are leaving off where we started, right?
Or starting where we left off.
Starting off where we left off, however you want to look at it.
Charles has a valid question, though. He said,
Charles?
He has a valid question. I appreciate you, Charles. I mean, we do still allow strangers inside, our spaces, Charles. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
you can call it what you want.
Yeah, but life's good, Sister Sherry.
Life has been a lot. It has been a lot in the last year or so, but here I am, still looking, shiny.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, you're looking bright. You're looking bright.
Had a little workout this morning, trying to do my workout life. Work has been doing a lot as I'm in a new position. But other than that, Jamal, it is. And the birthday is knocking on the door on Saturday. So
right. So what? I was just
easy. I'm just waiting. Go ahead.
No, I was just about to say I'm looking forward to celebrating your birthday with you.
Okay. Make sure you rise to the occasion.
Yeah, absolutely.
With a great gift. Not necessarily a hype, but just you can always pass it to me. And I will look and I'll be like, yes, Jamal, thank you.
I had a really great gift in mind for you that I'm not getting you now. I was going to
gotten it. What other woman are you going to give it to? I dare you to say something. And what other woman you're going to give it to?
Sister Sherry, Kathy Rogers says, welcome back, Sherry. Good to see you.
Good morning, Kathy.
Yeah, Hadleen's happy to see you. She says, I love you too, Mercy. Hadleen, don't encourage this behavior.
If there was going to be anybody who was going to be excited I was back, I knew it was going to be Hadleen. She's been waiting.
Well, Hadleen, don't get in my bad books. Just because you all haven't seen it on air doesn't mean she hasn't been treating me like this all. Dorian says, welcome back, Sherry. I have a lot of love for you. You have been truly missed.
Thank you, Dorian.
Man, he's a good liar.
I'm I'll take it.
I'm joking with you, Dorian. We've got Suzanne Ingham says, super awesome day, Jamal and Sherry. Welcome back, Sherry. Jamal, don't start the show off poking my dear friend. She started with me. I missed you, Sherry. Yes, life is a lot. Yep, but you're doing awesome, Sherry.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate all the love from the audience.
My goodness, Cher's presence earned us $5 this morning. Mark Arthur Phillips says, I got to give you a super chat for this. Hey, Sherry, we miss you. You are looking well. Oh,
See what I bring to the show, the value.
well, thank you for the donation,
Thank you,
Mark.
Mark.
We appreciate you. $5 for Cher's presence. Sherry, you getting paid $5 for showing up today. Look at that. Ah!
I had something else in mind to say, but I better not. I'm going to keep that,
My goodness. We've got Tanya Cheeseman's happy to see you apparently too. She says, welcome back, Sherry. And then we've got Charles A. Jeffs. Is this the daily? Well, my goodness, we've got to have a daily discussion, don't we? We've got supporters for that. But greetings, everyone, and thanks for making us part of your daily routine. A good one today as we welcome Anthony Santucci on from CADA. Yes, we're going to be discussing alcohol and drug awareness in Bermuda. The daily play is music today, so Sherry might be a little rusty.
I might be. I might be showing my age. We'll see. Could be on either end, Jamal.
Well, I'm looking to the right, and Alan, I think you'd know the answer. This is an old question.
See, this is where we disagree, because you'll say that now and then turn around and then I'm like, I don't know that.
That's probably gonna happen today. But don't forget, folks, if you haven't already, make sure you're subscribed on our website. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. All right, let's get into the daily discussion. It's time for the daily discussion brought to you by our friends at Titan Express and Secure Trucking. Here's your question of the morning. How do you believe government can use AI to reduce cost? And also, are you in favor of government utilizing AI? Yes or no? Are you in favor of government utilizing AI? Sherry, can I go first or you want to go first?
No, please go, because this girl's rusty. Okay? I'm asking for some grace from the audience. I am a little rusty, so go ahead.
Okay, I should push it. Kenton Trott says, welcome back, Sherry. Welcome back. But so here's my thing with, am I in favor of AI? I think that's such a broad question, and we have to be careful because, I mean, we've been dealing with AI all our lives. Technically, it's really, our ability to have computers make life easier. That's as simple as AI is. But as far as government, am I in favor of government using AI? I think it scares me a bit. It scares me a bit to think of a government utilizing AI to reduce cost when the general public still doesn't know what happened with that cyber attack, and it's going on 2 years now? It wasn't last year, it was 2 years. Yeah. So that's one of my concerns with it. However, if done right, I think that AI should make life so much easier for Bermudians, and it can help reduce costs. Now, I think the first thing we think when we think AI and reducing costs is cutting jobs.
That's where I was going.
I think AI also creates new opportunities, all right, and new jobs. But as far as the first thing that comes to mind for me, I don't know about you, some of you all as your passports, right? I haven't had to deal with that. I don't have one, right? But things like TCD, I'm just shocked when I go to Bermuda that people are still waiting to pick a number.
Listen, and I can talk a little bit about that. When we talk about just the convenience of things, right? Yesterday, as I said, my birthday is coming about, and I went to the grocery store and just used the kiosk. I know that's not AI, but it's similar to it. And I went to Kroger and went to a kiosk, and within 5 minutes, I had my tag for my car. So it is a benefit in that sense. But when you mentioned it, am I in favor? I'm on, Jamal, I stay in the middle. And I'm on the fence because I did think jobs. Government is the biggest employer on the island. And what does that do for our people as far as jobs are concerned? So, but I do think it can help. And I'd love to hear what you indicated in regards to providing other opportunities.
Well, Sherry, I think It's like the example I used to give when I was living in Florida. Not so much here, and I'm going to use Target because that's where I shopped in Florida, right? Don't judge me talking about, oh, you're supporting Target, man. You all don't tell me who to support anyway. But no, I haven't been Target in a while, to tell you the truth.
Because I'm not a Target shopper.
Yeah,
Like Target, but not
but it was
often.
convenience for me in Florida. It was there, right?
Yeah.
And again, there will be 22 registers open. I'm sorry, 22 registers, and none of them open, just for self-checkout kiosk things. And so you'd have that one person who monitors them to make sure you're putting everything through and so on. In one breath, you're like, man, this is how people are losing jobs. In another breath, you're kind of like, okay, well, what opportunities is it creating for people? That's not where my strong point. But my point is, there will always be jobs lost due to technology. How
Yeah.
we respond to that, how we train people. And again, a cashier job is probably a different level from an IT or coding job, right? It's definitely probably need certifications for one versus the other. But one problem solved creates another problem to be solved, meaning the cashier is replaced, but who's monitoring the technology? That makes sense?
Yeah, and with that, I go back to my summer job days. Right back in the day, I was working at one of the local banks, and I was in the check counting department where all the checks arrive, and you remember receiving all of them back in the mail.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so when we look at that, that is now obsolete, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who writes a check?
Mm-hmm.
Because now we have a new system in there where everything is used with your card, and then you use everything's cashless. But when you talk about those opportunities, of course, you need somebody to monitor those things and so forth. But you can also cut costs with mistakes being not as high as
Mm-hmm.
somebody, let's just say I didn't count properly. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? So it has its pros and its cons, and it can shift,
Mm-hmm.
and it can do those creations of a variety of different things. It's just now expanding our minds to conceptualize it.
Yeah, it's interesting. Audience, what are your thoughts? How do you believe? I mean, some of you use the government facility, use mail, right? Some of you still mail things. Some of you have, well, most of you have your trash picked up. You travel, right? You have to use customs forms. You have to redo your passports. You have to go to TCD every year if you have a vehicle, or if you have a license every 5-10 years. What are some things that you utilize? Bus fare. I mean, I know that they're using technology to allow people to know where the buses are. Through
Yeah.
an app, right? That's kind of AI. So, how do you believe government can use AI to reduce costs? But also, are you in favor of government using AI? Well, Sean Smith, he says, yes, I am in favor. Stacey Ann Brown is saying, Sherry, welcome back.
Hey, Stacey.
We've also got Karen Simmons saying, welcome back, Sherry. Happy birth anniversary month to you. Okay. She didn't invite you to the party, though, Auntie Karen. Suzanne Ingham says, no AI. Throw it out, either the dishwasher or immediately get the pit clean too. No AI.
I still think it's a need for it. I really think there's still some need for those things. When we talk about, in addition to that list, Jamal, fraud protection,
Mhm.
or detection, I should say.
Mhm.
When you talked about the trash just now,
Mhm.
you don't even need to get out of the truck.
Yeah.
The machine can do it.
Yeah.
However, that does put people in other positions to help with that. I don't know if we should throw it away. It is definitely a great use in
Mhm.
shopping and doing certain things. The convenience of it. I went to do my admissions. 5 minutes later, I was able to have my tag
Mhm.
because of AI.
Mhm.
Everything was syncing immediately,
Mhm.
and that's a convenience for me. It's
Mhm.
all done. So I don't think we can get rid of it completely.
Yeah.
I think that would do us a disservice.
I think AI, the purpose of it is to make things more efficient, right? To make things smoother, to save time. to cut costs in some respects. All of us in some way, shape, or form have or do benefit from AI. I just don't think we have a clear idea of understanding and of knowing what AI actually is. But audience, keep your comments coming. How do you believe government can use AI to reduce costs, and are you in favor? We have Sean Smith. He says it can improve customer service to the public. Example, frequently asked questions. We've got Papa Cheesy is also saying Grand Rising, King JH, and Empress Sherry. I am new on this beautiful live. Empress Sherry, welcome back. Okay. We appreciate you, Papa Cheesy. This is a good one. Sean Smith says booking a government venue and receiving payment. Yeah, creating something of, like that.
Yeah, just all of that, Jamal. I just think about. Oh, I lost my train of thought. It's the age happening. Go ahead, Jamal.
You said it, but in saying that, even from a duty perspective, Sherry, like I would love to see something done where I could just scan my receipts and everything populate for me, like for customs duty. Because seriously, man, writing, and mind you, I'm probably different from you all. I actually declare all my stuff because I know.
Okay, I do too.
Yeah, because you all be like, oh, hey, mess up his sneaker. I'm sorry, I'm giving away the secrets. I'm not, don't mean to be that guy, but I'm saying it's a lot writing that stuff. So what I do with customs duty, every time I go to Bermuda, I create a folder in my phone, put everything down, then I have to add up and I transfer. Because you only got one shot to really get it right on the paper, right? If they give you one on the airplane, and you usually writing in pen. So that process, maybe I'm spoiled. Maybe that is a real first world problem, but that's too much. Make the duty and travel form easy as, like, again, let me scan my receipts and you do the work for me.
Let's take it a step further. When you talk about AI and the importance of it, hospitals, you go in to do your medical. I can sit into an exam and within minutes before the doctor comes back, my chart is uploaded.
Yeah.
I already know my prescriptions. I know where they're going. I know what's going on. That is AI, and that is a great convenience, especially if you have to show those documents. Remember, was a time it took 2 weeks to get these documents back, or doing all of those kind of things. Or you could look at your chart and be like, when they say 50-year-old female, and you're like, they must have the wrong chart. Because I did that.
Yeah.
I was like, they can't be talking about me. AI got it wrong.
Yeah, I forget that sometimes too. You're like, man, I am. Yeah. But no, point taken, Sherry. That's an absolutely excellent point. Audience, again, what are your thoughts? How do you believe government can use AI to reduce costs? And also, are you in favor of government using AI? Renee Simmons says, government is so behind with technology in government departments. If AI reduces unnecessary lines and helps civil service update data throughout all departments, then yes. If it helps smooth out operations, yes. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I was introduced to Teams in my new job that I've been in since 2021. When they talked about Teams, Jamal, I was like, what is that? Like, what is it? And everyone's like, you don't know what Teams is? And I was like, no. The fact that everything is on my computer, from my trainings to putting in a timesheet to putting in your pizza, like everything is in my computer. And I can take it wherever I need to and get things done. Signing things, I could get it done. It is such the convenience. If I want to work from home, all of my files are in my computer. I can go to Chick-fil-A and block my VPN. But,
But it's interesting you say that. I'll give you an example. So let's use a meeting. So you go to a meeting at your job, right, folks? And instead of taking notes, like that's one thing I never liked about school or college, like taking notes. Because for me, I'm not the swiftest. It's hard for me to take notes and pay attention at the same time.
Okay.
Seriously. Like, so what we do now is whatever meeting we have, we use AI to record that meeting. And the AI we use can actually turn that meeting into a presentation. That's AI making life easier, breaking it down. Key points. This is what Sherry said. This is what Jamal said. This is what it takes your conversation and breaks it down into ways that anyone could understand if you needed to share it with somebody. So that's how we have been able to use AI. That would work. That to me would work. It could help with government. We have a problem with the courts right now. How can AI help with reducing the backlog in courts? Those are kind of things, because again, it's something we don't think about until we need to get it done. If you're in a situation where you need something through the courts and now you've got to wait 2-3 years, you know how much life changes in 2 to 3 years?
Yeah, absolutely.
Hadley and Swan says, let's start off with heads. Have you ever used AI? Unfortunately, not. Would I love to learn how to use AI? Most definitely, yes. Have you ever used AI? You've probably benefited from it.
I was gonna say, I don't think you really realize that you've used it.
If you own a cellular phone, you are using some form of AI.
Yeah. The prediction in you typing in your keyboard when it says Sherry said and it starts to finish a sentence, that is AI. And you just tap and it fills it in.
Mm-hmm.
In the simplistic form, that is AI.
Yeah. That's artificial intelligence, folks. It's not always an app. It's not always, right. I think we think so hard. Like, even if you go to the grocery store and you're allowed to scan stuff, like, that's artificial intelligence. That's technology. That's a form
it's reading a barcode.
Yeah.
You're not typing in the numbers.
If you've checked in using your phone before, that form of technology is artificial intelligence. That is a form of AI. It's automation. I think
what is the plane ticket? Not the your boarding pass. Sorry.
The barcode on your boarding pass. Mm-hmm. Yeah, stuff like that. So I shared that, and we shared that, and we discussed this because I think while I obviously people in Bermuda especially have a right to be concerned about technology and AI when it comes to government, because again, there has been a bit of silence from the cyber attack. And when we say silence, people just don't have details. And from the government's perspective, rightfully so. But I think it's important for us to understand the benefits rather than just looking at it as the big bad wolf. Renee Simmons says it also gives you an option of different words to use. She's talking about the example that Sherry gave just now. All right, folks, that was your daily discussion brought to you by our friends at Titan Express and Secure Trucking. Let's give them some love, and then we'll go to Simone Vaughan for the Daily Hour News Break. Don't forget, we've got Anthony Santucci coming up with a very important conversation, the work that CADA is doing as far as education and awareness when it comes to drug and alcohol abuse in our community. All right. In the meantime, while we show some love to Titan Express and Secure Trucking, give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. Make sure you share the conversation with your friends, your family, your colleagues, and make sure you're subscribed too.
The Daily Discussion is brought to you by Titan Express and Secure. Visit TitanEXBDA.com, your leading tour and transport provider specializing in Black History tours throughout the island. And SecureBDA.com for all your property management, waste management, residential, and commercial trucking needs. Professional, punctual, and reliable service is our commitment to you.
We had a really good question, and big up to Real Deal over at Hot 1075. But there's a question that came in the event of malfunction or loss of internet, what is the backup plan for loss of AI? What happens to the world becoming too dependent on technology? You know what? I think that should be tomorrow's question. I'll tell you why. Someone asked me recently, Sherry, someone legit asked me, said, if we lost internet power, how would you survive? Not electricity, but if you lost the internet, the ability to connect to the internet, how would we be able to survive?
Me?
I'll be okay.
I'll be okay. I was born in 19.
I was just going to say, I didn't use the internet my entire life, and I functioned quite well without it. However, man, I'd miss communicating with people. I would.
Yeah, but it's called pick up a phone, plug it. Some houses still have you could plug it in. I was born in 1974. I will be just fine. Trust and believe. I could write a letter. I know how to put a stamp on an envelope.
You know, I went to an antique store the other day and I saw a typewriter and I just thought it said do not touch, but I didn't see that sign. But I was like, man, they won't know about it. Like there was no backspace and like delete and like, man, that was the first
and
time
white out. I know.
They don't know about
Listen,
this
Jamel,
shit.
I'll be just fine.
1974, but you know, I mean, take us back. All right, let's go through these last few comments before we do the news break with Simone. We've got Cameron Fox. He says AI is a positive tool for some, but it makes people lazy, and we are losing face-to-face contact. I think government can use it, but please don't make our everything. Suzanne Ingham says, very convincing, Jabal, but you're not convincing me. There is AI on an app I have. I can't stand it. Reading, it's horrible. Delete. No, I'm not trying to convince anyone. Honestly, that's not my job to convince you. My job is only like I just want to make us think and consider different things, but definitely don't want to change your mind. Karen Simmons says AI is a great note taker for me during meetings, key points, action items, and even takes photos during the meeting. Oh, the photos thing sounds creepy, though.
Yeah,
but yeah, I
side-eyed you on that, Karen.
Yeah. John Smith says, improve the bus schedule. Don't have to spend years and millions of dollars to get an efficient schedule. Yep. Mark R.C. Phillips says, fam, I would be lost. I can't lie. I don't think you would. You'd be okay. WKD Lama says, I guess I will go fishing every day if the internet went down. Suzanne Ingham says, I'd be lost. I'd read it, go into the bank, use a landline. Yes, Sherry, write a letter and post it. Renee Simmons says, yes, that's a question for the Gen X and Z. No, I think you mean millennial and Z. X would be Sherry's generation. They'll be lost for sure. No, I mean, I wasn't even edging you. I just think I'm just saying she got her generations wrong. And then Sean Smith says, I still know how to write cursive.
Listen, Sean, listen.
That's still.
I mean, the fact that you even know how to write your letters correctly and not, that's a whole nother subject. How about what would someone do when they do write a letter? Would they know how to spell words out instead of just using acronyms or different, like?
That's a good point, man. I wish I went to college now. I'd probably get a 4.0 because technology does it for you.
Yeah.
The one thing I liked in college was writing because, I could BS my way into a grade where math, it was like either or, right?
Yeah.
Right or wrong. But I don't think I would, that's why it's hard for me to use AI doing this show because my thoughts, like I can't let anyone think for me. You feel me? But anyway, let's do the news break, folks, with Shimon. We've got Anthony Santucci coming up from CADA. Keep the questions, comments coming. This is another important conversation because we do have issues in our community as far as alcohol and drug abuse, and we want to figure out how together we can improve our community. Stick with us. Do not go anywhere.
Good morning, Bermuda. Today's news is brought to you by People's Pharmacy. First up, we have a report from the Bermuda Police Service confirming the unfortunate passing of 71-year-old Gladwin Anderson. Mr. Anderson was involved in a road collision with the Department of Transportation bus on the 12th of May. Autopsies confirmed that his death was a result of the collision. This marks the fourth road fatality this year. In other news, the Bermuda Police Service thanks the public for their cooperation over the Heroes Holiday Weekend. Superintendent Dennis Aswood, Gold Commander for the Heroes Weekend Policing Plan, praised the public for their assistance. The vigilance of you, the public, and your willingness to take action by alerting your police service to wrongdoing make for a potent partnership against the minority bent on antisocial behavior and criminal activity. In the spirit of making dreams come true, the Northlands Primary School took the culture of Bermuda to Disney World. Led by choir leader Terry Henry, they performed several songs, including a traditional Bermudian ballad, and were later joined by a gumbe. The school published a video on their Instagram exclaiming how proud they were of the choir for representing Bermuda. In political news, the Bermuda Chamber of Commerce released a statement discussing the Premier's response to their housing analysis. Mariko Thomas, president of the BCC, commented that they had used public data primarily from government sources and followed sound economic and actuarial methods. When estimates were used, we disclosed them. Where data was missing, we said so. Following the Chamber's recent housing presentation, the Premier said, "Guesses on figures do not make facts. End of story." He also added, "Anyone can have views, anyone can have their opinions." Continuing the Commerce's response to the Premier's words, Thomas expresses how one of Bermuda's greatest strengths is its world-class model of collaboration between government, industry, and regulators, and that he urges to ensure that the level of consideration, engagement, and mutual respect we extend to the global stage is equally felt by those living and working right here in Bermuda. The new chief executive of the BCC, Jennifer Woods, will be coming on the show next week to discuss her new role in the chamber. Be sure to tune in. For today's weather, we have partly cloudy skies with a high of 80 degrees and a low of 79. The chance of precipitation is at 25% currently. That's all for the news today, and everyone have a great day.
All righty. Thank you so much for that, Simone. And on behalf of everyone at the show, we definitely send condolences to the family and community and friends of the road fatality victim from back in May, I believe it was, Gladwin Anderson. Also, big props to Northlands. You know, I had a little voice when I was in school. I had some. I shouldn't have said little. I had a voice when I was in school. I was a singer, Sherry. You know, you want to hear a little Do Re Mi or something?
No, but I sang in my senior school talent show and stuff. Not talent show, like senior show. But yeah, that's what I had aspired to be, kind of back in the day.
A singer?
Yeah, I
You want to
really
give us a little something today?
not really. You hear I'm a little congested, but you know. Yeah, there I go, there I go, there I go. I walked right into that.
Oh, okay. That was awesome, Sherry. That was awesome, sis Sherry. I mean, you know, I don't want to, you know, I don't want to tear you up. But what you got a days of the year for us?
I do, Jamal. I was going back and forth and then realized I was looking at the wrong day. But
sorry.
I got it together. Today is International Picnic Day. So it's like making sure that you make your own picnic and appreciate food in a new light, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I like a picnic. And what I want from the audience is to let me know what area in Bermuda would be a great place to have a picnic, or kind of what place have you had a picnic at? Do you do picnics? Jamal, you don't look like the picnic type.
That involves outdoors, right?
Yeah, with you and your friends,
Yeah.
you know, the insects.
I'm not really an outdoors person like that. But if I guess my partner, she wanna do something fancy and like,
It doesn't have to be fancy. That's the thing
that's the
about
only
it.
way I'll probably do this. She wants to get out and do something romantic or something, but naturally I don't, man, it's a couch, it's like some tables, there's some AC, like we don't have to go outside to, you know.
Who in the audience loves a picnic or just likes one? You know, it's
no disrespect to those who like it. You know,
I think it's the summer baby in me that likes to do some of that, you know.
Yeah. But yeah, audience, where's the best? And I know some of you don't want to tell your secret spots because that's where you go do your thing. This is PG. It's the morning show. All right, folks, keep it respectful.
Not the side show.
Yes, no, it's respectful. But NTS says Bars Park. Okay. I think Bermuda has some really nice areas. You've got the Arboretum. You've got Parlerville Park down there.
Arboretum, Jamal.
You've got you nasty.
No. Grew up around there. Grew up in the area, Prospect. So was down there quite often as a youngster.
Okay.
PG.
Admiralty Health says WKD Llama. We've got Stone Crusher, Corner Kinley Field. We've got No to the Picnics. Picnic out. It's outside, says Suzanne Ingham. Aswell Park. Yes, that's another nice area. What's the cove down there? Is it Stone? Jobson's Chaplain, that area?
Jobson's Cove?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Renee Simmons says Whale Bay. All right.
Yes. Yeah, Whale Bay is good too. I love these.
Pontoons was a thing. Charles says maybe in the evening, but it's too hot in this oven, aka Bermuda. Yeah. It'd have to be like a cool evening breeze. Man, got me wanting to be romantic now.
But here in Atlanta, there's a theme for everything. So they have R&B picnics, they have the jazz festivals, they do everything picnic related. I swear, because it is a lot of parks. But yeah,
I've been shown.
Yeah.
I've been shown.
I've had a great time there. I'll tell you that. Great
Okay.
time.
We're going to take a break because I'm not going to get myself in any more trouble about this picnic business. But folks, don't forget, important conversation coming up. If you haven't already, let me just read to you what our good friend Mark Arthur C. Phillips said. He said, we need to get these likes up. We only got 4 people liking on YouTube. Folks, help us beat the algorithm for these important community conversations. Whatever platform you're on, it costs you nothing. Give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. Make sure you share the conversation with your friends, your family, your colleagues. For those tuned in on Hot 107.5, we thank you. Make sure you take some video or just take a picture, let people know you're tuned in and locked in on the radio with us. We will be back in about 3 minutes, 11 seconds with a conversation that you do not want to miss. Stick with us. Anthony Santucci is on the other side.
People's ACW, located at King Edward VII Memorial Hospital, carries over-the-counter medicines, toys, cards, and even toiletries. Our knowledgeable staff are there whether you're at emergency, visiting family, or a member of BHB staff, to show you our best even when you're feeling your worst. People's ACW, we're here for you.
Hi there, welcome to Medical House. We're located at number 6 Bakery Lane. I can't wait to show you all of the great stuff that we carry. Come on inside, let's see. Long days, long shifts, you no longer have to endure comfortable underwear. Designed by nurses, we now offer premium undergarments by Swoop that are unique, fun, comfortable, and functional. The only underwear you'll ever want to wear. Who says high-quality functional products can be stylish and comfortable at the same time?
See it all at our new expanded location on Bakery Lane.
96 degrees, real hot, oh yes.
Summer's heating up, but your home, it can chill. BAC is turning down the heat with 20% off Carrier X-Power mini split AC units. They're sleek, whisper quiet, and smart thanks to energy-saving inverter technology. New install, upgrade, doesn't matter. Just don't miss out. For a limited time, get 20% off when you pay with cash, credit, or debit.
96 degrees, real hot.
Swing by BAC on Mill Creek Road today.
Discover Drop It, your go-to grocery delivery. Browse and select from a wide range of groceries, from fresh produce to daily essentials. Our friendly drivers deliver fresh groceries to your door fast, saving you time and hassle. With Drop It, you get fresh groceries delivered fast so you can focus on what really matters. Drop It, freshness at your doorstep, delivered to your door with Lindo's. Why go anyplace else?
Dreaming of expanding your business? With BDC's loan guarantee program, we support your ambitions. Get up to 75% guarantee on bank or credit union loans up to $300,000. Just your vision and our support. Apply today and unlock new business opportunities. BDC, Bermuda business starts here.
At Umami, we don't just sell spices, we spark something bigger. We believe food isn't just fuel, it's connection, it's tradition, it's joy. Our dream? To help you eat better, love louder, and maybe even start a little food revolution. One home-cooked, flavor-packed meal at a time. Because cooking isn't just a chore, it's an act of love. Umami Spice. Gather, cook, connect.
All righty, welcome back to the big show. Sherry Vanderpool, I'm Jamel Hartman. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House, Lindo's, People's Pharmacy, and our good friends over at Hot 107.5. Folks, don't forget to subscribe on our website. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. All right, without further ado, let's bring in our special guest of the day. We've got Anthony Santucci coming on from CADA. We're speaking about alcohol and drug abuse in Bermuda, education, awareness, but also just understanding where we're at as it relates to this conversation in Bermuda. Let's give him a warm TDH welcome. Greetings, sir. How are you?
Good morning, Jamal and Sherry. Good morning to you.
Morning.
I can't hear you, but turn on your mic, girl.
My mic's on.
I can hear her.
I am absolutely messing with you.
Oh.
My goodness, I love it. I should have used that one this morning. I appreciate it.
I suppose that's called a get.
Definitely got gut. How are you, sir? How's things going? Like what
it's summer in Bermuda.
Yeah.
We know what that means. I'm here. If I had a choice, I would be in Montreal, because in Montreal in August the weather is really, really hot, but there's very low humidity.
Yeah.
But so Sherry, I know how it is in ATLs, but you might want to move to Montreal and enjoy the weather without the humidity. That's all I'm saying.
I know the humidity was very high this weekend, so I definitely understand that.
I completely disagree. Moving from Florida to Atlanta was the best thing ever, because humidity in Florida.
Oh yeah, that's not only the humidity in Florida, is there's mosquitoes.
Yeah.
Honestly,
I know you all love Florida. I know you all love.
I love Florida. I lived in Sanibel Harbor for about a year.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
But I couldn't deal with those mosquitoes. But anyhow, that's another conversation for another day.
Mr. Santucci, the audience is talking to you. Suzanne says, "You're in the dark, Mr. Santucci." And then,
yes, Suzanne. Is that better?
Yeah, it's better, because Miss Allen, she was letting you know.
I'm actually working from home today, because I thought I could actually do this, but clearly I should have went into the office.
Well, no, it's fine. We're happy to have you, and thank you for doing this. But just to remind people, for those who may not be aware for whatever reason, just give a brief overview of CADA, its mission, key initiatives currently in place to combat alcohol and drug abuse in Bermuda.
There we go. Absolutely. CADA, Encouraging Responsible Alcohol Behavior, was founded about 67 years ago by two alcoholics, and their goal was to improve Bermuda's relationship with alcohol and drugs. But maybe 15 years ago, CADA modified its mission somewhat, and focuses exclusively on alcohol as a primary drug of choice in Bermuda. So we talk about CADA, Encouraging Responsible Alcohol Behavior. We used to do a Let Us Drive program, but we took it during that period. That was just pre-COVID. We took over 20,000 people at home at night at 3 o'clock in the morning that were inebriated. We do a life skills program in many of the middle schools throughout the island. Other than that, we do lots of advocacy. We talk about social hosting laws. And so we keep busy all the time. And people always say, how come you're always busy? I said, well, the first big party that involved alcohol in Bermuda was called the Permanent Christmas. And that was when the then Governor Moore had announced that he was leaving. And the inhabitants of the island were so happy, because apparently he was somewhat of a taskmaster. So they just, between the time they announced his leaving and the time of his arrival, and I don't know how long this was, they all drank and consumed vast quantities of alcohol because he was going. And they referred to it back in the 1600s as the Permanent Christmas. I'm so happy to see this fire go. So
just to give some insight to people, because not everyone's a historian, Richard Moore, you said Governor Moore, right?
Governor Moore, correct.
Yeah,
Richard Moore was the first governor of Bermuda.
Just want to give context, let people know that was the first governor. So I don't want anyone thinking that they remembered the governor. You
should always remember. I shouldn't say you should always remember the first, but in this case, they were just so happy to see him go.
Yeah. I mean, Sherry would have no time remembering back then. But,
whatever.
Just moving along, though. I mean, back in April, there was an interview you had done with Bermuda Broadcast, and it related to people who were still being served alcohol by bartenders or in establishments, even though they were visibly inebriated or unable to, properly function. When we spoke about that on this show, it was actually kind of shocking that many people didn't know that, like some of the stuff you said in that interview is, it's the law, it's just not being enforced, right? Can you speak to that a bit more about why it's something that CADA's pushing for, and really get people to understand what the actual law is?
Right. Basically, the law says that but the law is rather simple. It is illegal to serve someone that is visibly intoxicated.
Mhm.
It's not a complicated law, and you can be fined up to $10,000. We, or the trainers at CADA, when we do the training intervention course, teach that. And I think what precipitated this conversation with the BBC was the fact that in order for us to, I suppose, have a better environment or change the culture of our relationship with alcohol, it isn't just the responsibility of one individual. It is the responsibility of the servers of alcohol, the consumers of alcohol as well. So you have a dual relationship. So if I'm in your bar and I'm drinking, at some point you need to make a conscious decision. Have I consumed too much alcohol? And at what point do I start slowing the consumption of alcohol? My point was that the police had a role to play in this, and that if somebody was visibly intoxicated, which we know is against the law, that the police, have the powers to prosecute, and they have the tools to confirm that. And I say that because every single bar in this country that gets a liquor license, as a part of the condition of being issued a liquor license, they have to have cameras. And 9 times out of 10, it's very specific that those cameras are facing the bar and the point of sale system. So, and they have to keep the backup for at least a month. So if we really are important, it's important that we use all tools available to us so that we can continue to change the relationship we have with alcohol. And that was the point that I was making, quite frankly. It requires all of us. It isn't just me, it isn't just you, but it really does take a village. And we are only a village. There's 55,000 people here.
Right.
Yeah.
Really not a lot of people.
Correct.
Thanks for that information. I didn't realize that the cameras were, had to be
Oh,
there.
it's absolutely a prerequisite.
Yeah.
I mean, we talked about AI and online and all of that. The former chairman of the Liquor Licensing Authority, Mark Daniels, and his brilliance, because if you don't know, I think he's an amazingly smart, intelligent, progressive guy, made sure that everybody had cameras in the bars. He also made sure that you could actually go online and apply for your liquor license and pay for it. So
Thank you, AI.
No, he wasn't just a transformative chairman of the LLA, but he just was constantly moving forward and using technology in a progressive way.
And we talk about alcohol a lot, but what are some of the biggest challenges Bermuda faces in terms of substance abuse? And how is CADA working to address them?
Well, you heard, CADA doesn't actually deal with any other drugs other than alcohol. There are other agencies like Focus, Turning Point, and they deal with all the other other drugs. We specifically focus our attention and efforts on alcohol.
Okay. And with prevention is often, of course, most effective than treatment. What
That's right.
educational programs or community outreach efforts does CADA use to encourage responsible alcohol use? As I'm sure that should have been evident this past weekend.
I don't know. I was sitting in my backyard most of the weekend, but I get the point. As I said earlier, we spend our time in middle schools teaching about alcohol and drug abuse through our life skills program and bullying. We have other partners that deal with other drugs and other age groups. Must mention Shift, who is a great partner of ours, and Shift, previously Pride, and together with, I want to say, Leslie, it's all about prevention. But the key, I suppose, that my partners would say to me is that the one area that we always, when we're cutting costs, tends to be prevention. I've been told that we had a little increase this year, but so we in prevention and all preventive agencies have to really be creative in the way we try to get the messaging out, whether it's through Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. And that, from our perspective, that's where we put a lot of our preventive messaging in those areas, and for lots of reasons that it's economically the best way to go, and you get measured results. You get feedback on whether you're having penetration into the market that you're trying to address. And we have a very specific audience that we're looking for, and so we try to do it that way. So when we talk about algorithms and AI and all the fun stuff, I'm saying that technology is our friend, And we at CADA and my other agencies use it and the data we get from that to manage our processes, quite frankly. And it really has made our life a whole lot easier. So once somebody makes a contribution, they want to say, okay, what's your key market audience? Fine, we're going to say males between 25 and 35. And just going to say, so what's your penetration? Well, you know what? I can sit here and tell you that our penetration is 48% roughly. And the other part of that tends to be females, at 52%. And it fluctuates relative to the ads we're running, quite honestly. But people want to know that. And AI and technology gives us that. And so it's about getting measured results and about tweaking the process. And AI also helps you to tweak those processes.
Right.
Didn't you just apply that into today's discussion? Sorry, Sherry.
Yes, I love that.
No, I don't. It's not. It's actually not. It's actually really basic because I consider myself like, dang, I'm a mature guy, a little bit mature than you, Vanderpool. I know you're I know you're 1974 baby, so I'm not the baby I am, right? But so but the tools are there.
Yeah.
And they're there to be used.
I loosely mentioned this weekend, this past Heroes Weekend, but when we look at our major events that are going on throughout the year, and we talk about Christmas, we talk about 24th of May, we talk about Carnival Weekend, and of course, the holiday that matters the most, Cup Match. When you talk about those educational programs and so forth, and doing community outreach, what does CADA do during those high point areas to help with prevention and being able to reduce what we know can also happen during those time periods?
I would say that our processes really as we go into the summer are educational. We will start, I believe it's next week, an online commercial program where we will start running this series of commercials between now and Cup Match. We actually do a carding program at Beach Fest, which simply means that we go to Horseshoe Beach on the first day of Cup Match, because that historically is what we call Beach Fest, even though the concept and the components have changed somewhat. And we run a carding program. And simply what that means is we stand at the gates, or us and our volunteers, and we check everybody that comes into the park or the beach to determine whether they are old enough to drink. And if they are, we give them a wristband. So that when you go on the beach, and the beach on that particular day, if you haven't been there in a while, is replete with young people having a good time, but it's also replete with parks and policemen patrolling the beach to see that there is some level of reasonable consumption. And if you don't have a wristband, then they check your ID, and if you aren't old enough to drink, they ask you to leave the beach. So working with our partners makes a lot of sense, and the beach pavilion owners, operators are very cooperative as well. So that for the summertime, that's actually our biggest event. I mean, last year we carded just over 1,200 people. Yeah, I mean, Beach Fest is packed, but you get 1,200 people with a whatever kind of wristband we use that year. It allows you to manage that process a lot easier, because
wow. I just remember going, setting up my umbrella with a little cooler and kept it moving.
Sherry, they're
AI,
their canopies, their barbecue grills.
Wow.
It is a super party, quite honestly.
Yeah.
I'd say it's super meaning large.
Real quick, let me just jump in. Audience, we haven't forgotten about you. If you've got questions or comments, we'll get to them. I know it sounds like we're just talking amongst ourselves, but definitely it is about you, so we'll get to you. Go ahead, Sherry.
Thank you. How does CADA balance its advocacy for responsible drinking with the economic impact of the alcohol industry?
We do roughly. You heard me. You couldn't hear me sigh, could you?
I did.
Yeah, we heard the sigh.
I heard that.
Take us back as you answered that. Take us back as you answered that, Santucci, to like the Spirits Act of 1890 as well.
Yeah, there we go. Well, for those that don't know, the spirit, prior to 1890, there were two forms of alcohol in Bermuda. There was the imported, and the importers provided us with spirits. And there were the local distillers. And I want to say, when did he get in? Around 1806, John Gosling arrived with $800,000 worth of rum and a ready market. So by 1890, the what I call the secondary market or production market with the distillers, which were the formerly slaves, which produced most of the product, they passed the Spirits Act so that you could not distill alcoholic products in Bermuda. So in 1890, they said no more local distillation, only importation, and it really changed the economic structure of the community at whole, because all of a sudden the local distillers were out of business, and the only people providing alcohol were the importers. So that was a significant change in the way we consumed and produced alcohol in Bermuda. So the 1890s Spirit Act was a monumental change in the way we provided alcohol to ourselves as a nation. It only became, at that point, it became only imports versus local distillation and imports. So the 1890 Spirits Act was referred to at the time as notorious, the notorious 1890 Spirits Act. So we have been consuming alcohol in mass quantities for quite some while, but at some point it became mass quantities of imported alcohol. So our habits didn't change, just the type of alcohol we consume changed back in 1890.
But as you look at today, though, I mean, for instance, I mean, you see how it changed with cigarettes. Let's use cigarettes. If you, back in the 90s and 80s, growing up, if you opened a magazine, you saw like Marlboro or Camel or Cool, like advertised everywhere.
That's right.
It was like, that was the thing. And then things changed. With alcohol, people feel like, look, that's what drives the Bermudian economy. Like, I mean, someone, it's said that people think like that. But Dorian has a question right here. He says, when is most alcohol consumed during Carnival Cup match? Like, these companies make millions, right?
Hundreds of millions.
Yeah.
Hundreds and hundreds of millions.
So how do we combat alcoholism or, alcohol impacting people's jobs is, I guess.
A good friend of mine, her name is Tanya Asdale. And she's probably going to hit me for outing her like this, is the chairman of the Liquor Licensing Authority. In the Liquor Licensing Act, and I'm taking off from where you talked about camels, etc. There's a section that says that the Liquor Licensing Authority can prescribe or put a condition on your license on the type of ads you can run. They call it advertising. You can run. And again, so I say that there is a law, if used, will allow us to accomplish that task, because of the elimination, or at least the management of alcohol ads and where you see them. So I always whisper in her ear about that section of the act and try to cajole her to use it more liberally and use her authority, I'm going to say, because I don't like that word power, quite frankly. But so if she used her authority, she can actually start making significant changes in the way we see ads. There was an article some time ago, somewhere on social media, posting about all these proliferation of plastic banners with all the alcohol sponsorship at the bottom. Well, you know what? Mrs. Asdale has the authority to eliminate that. And, it just... No question. Well, her and her board, of course, but she as the chairperson really has a lot of influence if she leverages or uses it in a responsible way, and I would say a less conservative way. It's about creating a healthy environment for everybody, our kids as well as our adults, and the way we accomplish that, Jamal, and we in the advocacy program say to always argue that the way we eliminated the abuse of nicotine can also be applied to the way we eliminate the abuse of alcohol. We have the template. We just have to have the authority to use it. We talk about health advocacy, quite frankly, and what I mean by that, I was at the Global Alcohol Conference maybe 2 years ago now, and it talked about health labeling on bottles of alcohol. In Europe, they're like light years ahead of us. They need to change the configuration, but we need to understand that alcohol has a significant impact on our health, in the long term, and long-term abuse relates to long-term problems. So there's a lot more we could be doing, but it's about convincing my friend like Mrs. Asdale, who, guess what? All alcohol that's sold in the island, you know who's responsible for it? She is. You know, her and her board, you know, but in fact,
he keeps putting that at the end, her and her board.
Yeah. Ms. Asdale,
you know, but she's an amazing woman. She's, I would say, stupid smart, and she really is. You know, in her normal life, she's a compliant.
Let's go to the audience real quick because they're getting restless. When I include them, Rosalind Famous is asking, is there a rehab center on the island for alcohol?
Question.
Yeah, there are rehab centers on the island. We actually, as I've tried to make clear, are really an advocacy group. We don't oversee rehab centers, but the Department for National Drug Control, headed up by another amazing individual, Joanne Dean, is responsible for overseeing rehab centers throughout the country. And she does an amazing job as well, again, with finite resources. You know, understand that alcoholism and drug abuse is an illness. Not necessarily caused by bad behaviors. The former U.S. Surgeon General made a clear distinction maybe 3 years ago, maybe 4, that alcohol abuse and drug abuse isn't about bad behaviors. It's about some sort of thing in your brain that tweaks to say that you necessarily need that. So we really, as well, from my perspective or our perspective at CADA, need to understand that alcoholism is an illness. And as soon as we start treating it and addressing it as an illness, we will actually start moving towards resolution or at least managing that process.
All righty. How can people, I mean, you all do an awesome job with advocacy. How can people, support, volunteer, or, get behind the advocacy of CADA to ensure that as many people as possible are part of this, the campaigns that you all are driving?
Thank you. I would say if you want to support CADA, go to CADA.bm, click on the donate button. We throughout the year send out email blasts for volunteers. Volunteer, it's quite an interesting experience, quite frankly, but not CADA, but Shift and other supporting agencies that are out there working to improve the quality of our community, our village. Make a donation or volunteer. It's really donations and volunteerism are the backbone, quite frankly, of all our NGOs in this community in all spaces. And that's what I would say. If you're interested, make a donation or volunteer. It's the best way to do it.
Indeed. Thank you. And we have one more question from Dorian. He's asking, so are you saying that Gosling's has a monopoly on the distilling of spirits in Bermuda?
No, I didn't say that at all. I said that in 1890, that the Spirits Act, the Notorious Spirits Act came into play, and that the importers are, and the word monopoly, no. The reality of fact is there's Gosling's, there's Boris Lightburn, there's Bacardi, there's BKS. There are a lot of independent importers, quite frankly. So they're monopoly. They may have a chunk of the market, but because they started out 200 years ago with this process, but no, they don't have a monopoly. But certainly, they brought it back in the 1800s. They brought in $800,000 worth of rum and started selling it. So if you snooze, you lose, and people are playing catch up ever since.
So, someone asked a question earlier. I can't find it, but they were asking, do you all still, oh, here it is. Anyone know what happened with the free taxis that used to be available in town on Saturday nights?
That would be our Let Us Ride program. We actually haven't used that program ended with COVID, as there was obviously no one in the city to bring home. So as the market conditions change, and what I simply mean by that, as the demand or nightlife continues to improve in Bermuda, then we'll actually ascertain as to whether we should start the Let Us Ride program again. As again, I said, it took over 20,000 individuals during his 10 years and processes. So believe it or not, there are just not a whole lot happening in Bermuda. I shouldn't say that at night. And at this point in time, there's just, there's nobody to take it.
I would say it would be wonderful to see that during those high peak times like Carnival, Cup Match, and so forth, providing those free taxis for definitely those hot points during the summer, even if you can't do it normally at night. So that would be nice to see that to come back for those particular incidents.
I don't necessarily agree, Sherry, but like with most things, it's always about the resources, because it may be free to the participants, but it's not free to us or anybody providing that service. Cab drivers have to feed their families as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
And advocacy of that.
He shares a story. He says, my mom was in Brigham and Women's. I promised her I will stop drinking and smoking. This was in 99. Until that day, never touched that stuff. Congratulations, Steve.
Congratulations. I mean, I stopped smoking at COVID, quite honestly. And that was my commitment to myself. And it wasn't the easiest thing. For those that don't know, I smoke a pipe. I used to smoke a pipe and cigars on a regular. So that was my contribution to my own personal growth and health at that point in time. So I understand the struggle. You don't really know you're addicted till you decide that you're going to stop, and you're like scratching your head and you're like, where's that pipe to?
Indeed. Yeah. Always a pleasure, Anthony Santucci. CADA, appreciate you. CADA.bm for more information, sir. Have a wonderful day, and I'm sure we'll be in touch to ensure that we're doing our part to push the messaging out from CADA. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you very much, Jamal. Thank you, Sherry.
All righty, Anthony Santucci from CADA, folks. If you appreciated that conversation, if you're on one of the streams, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, X, Instagram, please give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. We're going to take our final break. We're going to come back, see if Sherry's still rusty. Yeah, we're going to see if she's still rusty, folks. You got this, Sherry?
Yeah, sure. Hey, let's be positive about it. Sure.
Well, give me 2 seconds, because I thought we had a commercial break coming up, but apparently we don't. So let's get that up real quickly, the commercial break, and then we will come back after the commercial break. We'll wrap it up. Well, we'll do a daily play. It's music today, folks. It's music. So get yourselves ready. It's music. Why are you sighing, Sherry? You don't think you got this?
Stuff like this makes me nervous, and so we'll see.
Just a bit nervous, audience.
If I was listening, I'll be like, how come you don't know that?
It's like Wheel of Fortune, right?
Yes.
Everybody, like when you're watching it, you think the person on the show, oh, how didn't you get that stupid? And I'm like, stage fright? There's people in front of you. You're on cameras and lights in front of you. But everybody's the smartest person in the room, and they're not in the room, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so Sherry's in the room today, folks.
And so is Jamal.
But I'm asking the question.
That's okay. And that's why.
You could have asked me a question. I mean, I have no shame in getting things wrong. But audience, it's
because they normally go over your head anyway, so it's just.
See, I thought we had turned a leaf earlier in this conversation.
Probably never, Jamal. Let's just put that up. Probably never.
Sure, real quickly, your birthday is this weekend. What do you want for your birthday this year?
I don't know. I'll be honest, Jamal, I really just stick to 24 hours of attention. I really truly believe in pouring into myself during that time and during this month, and for that day, just loving all of the expressions that I receive. And that's truly what what do I need? Well, I mean, I do have Zelle, and you do have my cell phone number. That's AI, right? That works. That's beneficial.
Well, for those in the audience not familiar with Zelle, it's like a Cash App. She's basically saying, hey, you got my number. You know how to transfer $1 or $2, folks. We'll be back. Yeah, we're going to find out if she is on birthday form and gets this question right after the break. You might need a help out.
Forget the usual. Ditch the ordinary. Go off-grid, where adventure meets barefoot luxury. Welcome to Off-Grid RV Bermuda, the island's first recreational vehicle retreat where nature meets luxury in a fully solar-powered Airstream RV. Enjoy eco-conscious linens, cozy robes, a stove, and full bath in a mobile home. You'll find peace in every detail of your stay. Now accepting bookings for overnight stays and half-day escapes. We deliver and set up your Airstream at one of our 10 hand-picked island gems, or right to your private residence. Whether it's a honeymoon, golf getaway, birthday, or solo recharge, You'll get quality service every time. Book now at offgridrvbermuda.com and discover the sleep, serenity, and scenery you've been craving.
Hey, you all right, boy? I don't know, man. I finished running 20 minutes ago, and I feel like I'm still panting.
Look like you need to recover. Try this here. New drink. You're like you want to go to the hospital in a few seconds ago. This will make you fast like Flora.
Tastes good.
Yeah.
Yeah, bye.
Hey, we again.
I'm recovered, bye.
Being from this little island, like yourself, we knew you needed access to reliable shipping. We set up mailboxes so you can skip all the long waits or held up in customs excuses.
With mailboxes, that won't happen. Get your packages in under 48 hours using our dashboard.
Plus, if you're a planner or headerer, our weekly consolidation service might be for you. We hold your packages in Delaware and ship them together to save you big time on shipping fees.
And with our warehouse being in Delaware, that means 0% sales tax. Pretty cool, right guys?
Looking for the best care for your pets? Nova's Ark Feed and Supply has everything you need, from top quality foods to toys and supplies. We've got it all. Join our frequent buyer program and earn rewards every time you shop. Plus, we've been awarded the Clever Customer Initiative program for helping you save more. And don't forget, we open an hour early on Saturdays so you can get a head start on your pet care. Visit us today or shop online for easy pickup or delivery. Your pets will thank you.
Alrighty, welcome back to the big show. Sherry Vanderpool, I'm Jamel Hartman. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by our good friends at the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House Lenders, People's Pharmacy, and Intel Communications, Hot 1075. Thanks again to Anthony Santucci for stopping by. Appreciate him coming on from CADA, having that conversation with us. Folks, if you haven't already, make sure you give us whatever platform you're on: Facebook, like, love, follow, share, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. Just make sure you show us some love. Help us beat the algorithm so as many people as you know have access to these community conversations as possible. It's time for the Daily Plate, brought to you by Bermuda Trivia, now available at stores throughout Bermuda. Follow Bermuda Trivia on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, X, and TikTok to find out why it's Bermuda's favorite trivia game. All right, Sherry, it's music. Are you ready?
I am ready.
All right, it's a music-related question.
Now it's music-related.
Nothing to do with music. All right? All right. Which member of the Beatles married Yoko Ono?
Oh, John Lennon.
Ah, man, she got that, folks. I mean, they were kind of like your age, so you're generous.
Yeah, you could call it what you like. Yep.
Yeah, they make
I'm
sense.
ever there with all of that.
Okay. Sherry showed up. Okay, well, Karen Simmons got it as well. John Lennon. Okay. Sherry, I mean, you put Sancho to shame, you know.
What do you mean by that now? What you're not going to is talk about my Sancho. What are you talking about?
She wouldn't have got it, you know.
Yes, she would have.
Well,
she grew up in a entertainment household and all of that kind of stuff.
Sancho wouldn't have got it. Sancho, if you would have got it, come back next week and prove it to us. See what I did there? But Sancho, you wouldn't have got it. She wouldn't have got it. I don't know why these people cheering you on. They didn't help you do nothing. NTS
That's right.
For the win. We've got Karen Simmons says, awesome, Sherry, awesome. Congratulations for the win. Okay.
I'll be sending you my Zelle, Jamal, because I did win.
It's
Well, you have
probably-
my number.
It's probably the first one you've gotten right in about a year.
And yeah, because I've only been on for this year. So that's about right.
So you're 1 for 1? You're 1 for
I'm 1 for 1.
Because Larry be like, look, hey man, I'm back. I'm like 4 for 4. I'm not showing up like Sherry and Sancho. That's what he would say.
Oh, wow. That's fine. I know that's you saying that. Larry would not say that about me.
He said it on the show.
It doesn't matter, Jamal. Come on, let's move on. We got to
Let's
wrap it up.
wrap it up. Final thoughts. We're talking AI and then obviously the conversation with Anthony Santucci.
I think it's very evident that we need AI. I think AI is doing us a great justice in so many areas. Do I want it to replace everything and everyone? No. But as you stated, it provides other opportunities for persons to be a part of it. So I think it will serve the government very well to get into that AI space effectively. As far as Mrs. Santucci, I'm proud to hear that he hasn't smoked a pipe since COVID, because that is his key accessory. I remember that of him. But I appreciate everything that CADA is doing for the community and the collaborations that we definitely need to see to help provide education and prevention for alcohol consumption or overconsumption in Bermuda.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think we need not let AI strike fear in us. Embrace it for how we can utilize it to improve our own lives and the lives of those in the greater community. As far as government, I think one of the things that we need to reduce cost. That's number one. And two, I think people are looking for more efficiency from government. So if technology and artificial intelligence can provide us with the efficiency that we need, and humanity is seen as first, then let's do it. Let's do it.
Agreed.
Yeah. As far as CADA, I agree. I appreciate that the organization exists and that they're working to continue to educate people and ensure that the community is aware of the laws and policies. Again, many of us didn't know that law existed for bars and establishments. So if you know something, reach out and say something. We need to ensure that our community is safe from people who are, under the influence and wreaking havoc on our society. So thank you to Mr. Santucci and the organization for the things they're doing. Sherry, you got some daily inspiration for us?
I do. I've been doing this for this whole hour, smiling. Let your smile change the world, but don't let the world change your smile. Smile, Jamal. That don't even feel right.
That wasn't real?
No, don't smile.
I can't force a smile.
And then that's a problem if it doesn't come naturally either. So we're gonna have to work on that.
You already got me hugging strangers. Now you want me to smile for them.
Yes.
Whatever. Yeah. Okay. Sherry's gonna be smiling. Sherry's birthday is this weekend, folks. Tell Sherry
Saturday.
Sherry's birthday is Saturday, the 21st.
June 21st, the first day of summer, and it's the best day of the year. Please
day.
remember it's in that order.
Okay.
And
Sherry's
as the children
birthday.
say,
wish Sherry a happy birthday, folks. Yep.
Thank you.
Closer to retirement than most of us. Yep.
Yep, sure am.
Yep. On that note, Zena Trott says Jamal is perfecting his grumpy old man person. What?
Oh my gosh, Jamal. They know you.
My goodness.
Wow.
I thought I was a happy-go-lucky, my goodness. Maddox doesn't think I'm grumpy anymore, as you got noted. He embraces it.
No, I think he just keeps it to himself. But I think it's definitely there that he believes that you're grumpy.
Okay. Anyway, folks, don't forget to subscribe on our website. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. Thanks again to our partners, the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House Lindos, People's Pharmacy, Hot 1075, for ensuring that we're able to do this with you on a daily basis. As always, we appreciate you, we love you, and we thank you for making us part of your daily routine. If all goes well, we'll be back to do this again with you tomorrow. She's Sherry Van Poel. I'm Jamal Hartman. We've got Zane B. Silva coming on tomorrow. Spread the word. We're addressing the housing crisis in Bermuda. You asked for him. We've got him. Please do make it a safe and a great day. And in the words of James Burgess, happy birthday when it arrives, Sherry. Talk to you all soon. We are out. Peace.